Iniside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Lynn.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. This is a soccer version outside with the beautiful soccer field behind us. I'm joined on my left by Coach Sean Regan, on the right, Pete McMenemy. Men's program, women's program, both getting ready to tee off or kick off this coming week. So let's start on the women's side. Coach, you have Malone on Thursday. What do you know about them?
Well, I think, historically they're a pretty talented, GMAC squad. They've recently got, the facilities, which is it's going to be a lovely venue to go play. We played them last pre-season and we unfortunately got stormed out within 30 minutes. So I'm fully expecting a competitive game and we'll absolutely be ready to play.
Coach, you open up against the national power Davis and Elkins on the road. Thoughts on D&E?
Yeah, it's tough. D&E is currently ranked 12th in the country in the preseason polls. The past 5 years we've opened up with Charleston, and now we open up with the second best team in the conference. So it's never easy, but yeah, D&E had a little bit of turnaround. New coaching staff is there, so we're looking to go down, and it's the first game, it's a conference game right away, so the points matter straight off the bat. So we're hoping to go down and surprise a few people.
Well, good, Pete. Let's talk about preseason camp. You don't have to give me the exact date, but when did your kids come back to school?
So they were back here on the 13th of August, Coach, and we started practice the next again day. So we've probably been, practicing and training and playing some pre-season games for around about 2.5 weeks now.
Okay, 2.5 weeks, and I talked to Coach Wiley today. We did our podcast for football. The weather, I wouldn't say has been ideal, but at least in my experience, it wasn't the brutal temperatures that we've seen in other summers. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Unfortunately, one of our scrimmage games that we had got stormed out after 60 minutes, so that was a little bit disappointing. But all in all, I think we've actually been quite fortunate with the weather. One of the days when the team was doing the fitness test, it was 65 degrees and raining, so I think that beats 90-degree weather for them, so they were happy about that.
Coach, same thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest adjustment really for us on our side is the international students, especially like the Irish and English kids that are really fair-skinned, and they've already gone through 6 gallons of sun cream in about 10 days. But the first week we were blessed; it was a little bit cooler and had some rain. But last week it's definitely ramped up on the heat factor. But the guys are all adjusting to it, so that's good. And it's really only going to be around for about another 2 weeks, so it shouldn't be much of a factor.
See, as an athletic director, and I'm going to blame it on my operations guy, Rex Lancaster, I would have never thought that sunscreen should be a budget item. Speaking of international athletes, how many on your roster?
We're a good 50-50 mix this year. Yeah, and we've got about 35 guys, about 16 internationals, and the rest are Americans, and we have a good blend of everything. The American kids are coming from California, Seattle, Hawaii, Florida, as well as a lot from the the DC, Philly, Ohio, Columbus kind of area. And then internationally, we've got all 7 continents basically outside of Antarctica. We've got Brazil, we've got New Zealand, we've got Japan, we've got Zambia, and then Ireland, England, Italy, Germany to round it all out.
You could teach a good world history.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, absolutely.
How about you? How many internationals?
So we're sitting around about six internationals right now, with the girls on the team from England, Sweden, and Norway. So previously we've had some from Ireland and Scotland before as well. But this year, just England, Norway, and Sweden.
With soccer being the premier international sport, meaning soccer to the internationals are what American football is here in the United States. Let's start on the men's side. Your typical roster in the MEC, is it a 50-50 split? Is it more international, more American? How would you?
Sure, it's heavily international. I would say probably outside us in Frostburg, everybody else is about 75+% of international students. we're a good 50-50 mix, and then Frostburg is probably more about 90% Americans on that side of things, and that goes across the board of Division II on the men's side. It used to be NAI and Division II were all heavily international, and Division I, Division III were all American, but it's kind of shifted now into the Division I factors. They are getting a lot more internationals as well. Because, like you said, it is the global game. You can get people from all over the world to come to America, and the fact that they can blend their education with playing high-level soccer is something that they can't get in their country. So it becomes very, very attractive over here.
Coach, what about on the women's side?
Yeah, I think we've seen and I think you're seeing this at the highest level now in women's soccer. I think there's been a slight shift in how popular certainly the women's game has become globally, and I think you're seeing that on the college side. There's more and more international female players are considering this option, and a lot of the players that move on and continue to progress through college and onto the professional ranks in women's soccer, a lot of those come to the US for college, and then progress through, whether that be through a draft or anything like that. So they kind of go through the system here and then progress either back to their own countries, Europe, or stay here, maybe in NWSL or Canada. So I think there's been a slight shift and more international female players, and I definitely think that's a trend that's probably going to continue.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So either one of you can answer this question. My question is, you're on the men's side, you're on the women's side. How often do you watch them practice? Do you watch them practice? So I'll start with you.
Yeah, so typically, I mean, I was at Sean's actual scrimmage here Friday night, so and I think I try to get out here a little bit early if they're before us, and I just kind of observe and see if there's stuff that I can pick up, because you can obviously learn from each other. It's the same game, so if there's maybe a certain exercise or drill that Sean's doing, I might say, oh, I could use that in my practice, or I could tweak it to kind of suit our program. So yeah, I try to get as much kind of exposure to different ideas. So yeah, definitely a lot I come out and watch.
Coach?
Yeah, the same, I guess. Now, this being my 18th year in college athletics, I see myself a little bit more as a mentor now, and this being Pete's first head coaching opportunity, it's great that we have such a good relationship, because we can bounce ideas off each other, and having practices so close together, if we stick around and watch afterwards, I can help him out with some of the things that he might need some questions on, and obviously not so much on the soccer side of things. He's doing a fantastic job, but just kind of bedding him in with the how to do some forms and the paperwork and all that fun stuff that we all love. It's good that we have a great relationship between the two of us,
right,
to be able to do things like that.
Well, that was going to be my next question, but you already answered it. That how often do you collaborate? You share a hallway down there, so you have to run into each other. But one of the things that I so much enjoyed when I was coaching here at West Liberty prior to AD was the relationship with other coaches, the colleagues, the being able, even if you're not talking about your respective sports, sometimes there's it's just so good to hang out with people that are experiencing the same thing that you are, for the good or bad.
Right.
So let's wrap this up. For one, thank you on very short notice.
No problem.
Coming out here, we're being blistered by the sun right now, so I might have to put sunscreen in my budget. But just so excited. Pete, I am going to be at Malone on Thursday, so
right,
I'll make the drive down. I won't be at D&E on
no problem
on Sunday, but I will. I always pull up the stream, so I'm watching. So again, thank both of you very much.
Thank you.
So excited to get this soccer season underway. So excited to have everybody back. Couldn't wish you any more luck. And let's go get them.
We're excited.
Thank you. All right, that wraps up this edition of Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Focus on soccer, and hopefully we'll do this in a week or so.
Sounds good.
Fire alarm activation, either Wagner building.
It was a space heater that had caught on fire, and it was really a major smoke event. We immediately called Panhandle, and they were on the scene rather quickly and got there air cleaning machines, smoke eating machines. They cleaned our ductwork inside and out, painted the walls, shampooed the carpets, cleaned every flat surface in the office, vacuumed, and got us up and running really quickly. Panhandle did a great job.